the next session. As you all know that education is all about all a matter of building bridges. So school systems and like our school systems, they base on the curriculum, not on the idea of separate subjects, but much more connected with the different disciplines. So I would like to introduce Ms. Iram Kamran. She will share her expertise about interdiscipline integration of different subjects. Ms. Iram Kamran, she is the head of primary department in a reputed Cambridge school. She is the founder and the director of Turning Point Training and Consultancy. This organization aims to empower women and children by offering different training and development programs. She is US certified and NLP practitioner. Over to you, Ms. Iram Kamran. I would like to welcome you on board. Please
Thank you
share your
so much, Umema.
thanks.
Thank you so much. Am I audible? Assalamu alaikum, Ms. Meher, Ms. Umema.
Yes, you are.
Thank you so
Walaikum
much.
assalam. Yes, you are.
Yes, and a very assalamu alaikum to everybody else, and a very, very good Sunday morning. Indeed, it is a very good Sunday morning. We are doing such creative and constructive work on Sunday morning. So I would begin by congratulating Ma'am Rafia Mudassir for organizing such a wonderful event, which will have long lasting impacts on the education system of Pakistan. And I believe that we have created history together. And I'm really honored to be a part of this summit. And I would try to present to the best of my abilities and share whatever I can in this short span of time. Let me begin with the presentation formally so that we finish in time. I would request the audience to stay interactive during the session, and I'll try to take questions if we get left with some time in the end. Is my screen shared, Umema? Can you please let me know?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
Iram.
Thank you
Can
so
see your
much. Thank you so much. All right. Yes, let's begin. So as Umama has already shared, and let me share again, my topic for today is integrating subjects using technology. And here I'll be having my presentation in three parts because this is a topic which we can talk about for hours and hours and days. But I would be talking about the what's, the whys, and the hows of integrating subjects. I'll be talking first about exactly what integrating subjects is, and then I'll shift this to the technology thing. We'll be having some activities also. I'll be sharing the links in between. So I want you to pay 100% attention over here so that we together achieve the most out of this session. As Mema has already shared, I would just briefly go with my trainer's profile that I am heading a primary department at Orchard Grammar School. So whatever I'll be sharing today is coming from my daily practices, which I do with my staff and which I try with the children that are in my department. I'm a certified trainer from three organizations, from respected Sir Abbas Hussain, TDC, TORC, and the First Institute of Dynamic Learning. I founded and my own training organization during this challenging times in the pandemic by the name of Turning Point Training and Consultancy, where we offer training sessions for mothers, teachers, and children. I'm a certified hypnosis practitioner and trainer and a licensed NLP practitioner. So that also helps me when I am dealing with humans, and that is a great support in planning activities and understanding the psychology of children. Now, I'll be sharing a link with you in the chat box before I formally start with the presentation and the topic. Let me just share with you. You just have to, there are two things that you have to do. First, you need to share. Yes, the link is there in the chat box. It's a very easily accessible link, and the activity is about. Yes, there are two questions. The first question on one of the slide is that name three digital tools that you use in your online teaching. Like we have been learning a lot of tools already, so you may have some of your favorite tools or you may be comfortable with some of them. So let's put the names of them in the chat box and let's see what happens then. Yes, so we can see that Omema, can you see the word cloud building up? Just give me a thumbs up if you can.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much. I'll be bothering you again and again. Yes, Google Classroom, Padlet, Teams, Zoom. Since I'm doing the session on technology, so I would like to begin like this. So let's see. I'll be sharing the purpose of this activity later on, but let's do it right now just for the sake of doing it. YouTube, yes. You have three options. Everybody is having three options, and this is a very, very easy tool which you can easily access on mobile tablets and laptops. Wonderful. So we see that Turtle Diary. Wow, wonderful. Nearpod, YouTube, Google Meet, and quizzes. And some of them are the platforms, and some of them are the LMS, and some of them are the websites or the tools that we use. So, wow, that's really amazing. You have another question as well, which gives us a poll. Let's see the poll here. I asked you that rate yourself on the use of technology. So this is just for your own evaluation that where do you stand? Are you at the beginner level? Are you at the beginner to expert level? You're still exploring, or are you at the expert level? If you're at the beginner level, I would share my own story that I was also before the pandemic, I was experiencing the beginner level myself, but then I knew that this is my area of improvement. As soon as I got time, I worked on it, and Alhamdulillah, today I'm giving a session on technology. So this is nothing like impossible in this technology thing. There are 16 responses over here only, and I think we have around 112 people watching us. So I would encourage that you try this. It's very easy, and the link is still there. If you want me to share again, I can do that. Okay, beginner to expert. To the beginner and expert people, I suppose that you have got number of ideas from Mr. Kashif's session yesterday, and a lot of other speakers have been sharing brilliant ideas, tools, and you must be loaded with a lot of information, and you must be wanting to try that in your online class now. And to the expert level people, I would suggest two things. If you're at the expert level, I would suggest that you share information with other people so that you get better and better at it every day. And another thing that you can do is you can visit every website that you use after a couple of weeks or days, because when we use a website or a tool, when we revisit it after a couple of days or some time, we see that the website is already upgraded or it's updated. So when these people are updating the websites on weekly basis, so we should be visiting them, and we should be, if we are doing a tool, we should not think that we have mastered it and that's all that they keep on adding the features. So this was just a small activity. Let's go back to the word cloud and let's see how did it go. I'll post a picture of this word cloud on my Facebook page, so you can get it from there later on. But this is what I told you, that we are around 112 people together, and in just 2 to 3 minutes time, we know that the audience's level is what level are they standing, what are they have, what do they have in their minds. So in virtual classrooms, it's not difficult to keeping people engaged. It's not difficult to get information or to get to know your audience or your children. It is very much possible, provided you know the right tools to use. So let's explore the what. I would suggest that please pay attention to these slides, because I'll be having a small formative assessment if we get time. I have prepared the tool, we'll talk about it. What is meant by subject integration? So I'll quickly go through this, that subject integration involves the process of creating seamless connections. All the subjects are one, it's one knowledge as a whole. But when we teach them in isolation and run after the separate subject goals, things become worse and nothing is being applied to the real life. So the goal, the bigger, the greater goal of education is to prepare those human beings or independent learners who can solve real life problems. But that is not achieved. Why? Because we see things in isolation. Though in the real scenario, they are not in isolation and everything has a connection with the other. So these connections, if the teacher plans the lessons so well that she's able to find the connections within them, it enables the learners to get engaged and get relevance of the subjects or the knowledge taught at school to the real life. Because the mess begins when the concepts or the lessons taught at school have no relevance with the real life. I have a picture over here to explain that this is one of the tools that you can use to generate themes around which you can plan your lessons. Like you can have a theme, this you can call this a wheel of topics, or you can call this a Venn diagram, a web diagram. So you can have a common theme, a unifying concept, which all the subjects are sharing, and then you can find the specific goals of every subject around them. For example, if we take water, the lesson of water or pollution, or you can say about environment, is present in English learners' books as well, English language books as well. We find that in science books as well. We find it in the form of capacity in math books as well. And of course, if the art teacher wants to integrate math capacity concept with art, she can have a craft making class by asking children to bring those Tetra Paks and read the labels where the Tetra Pak capacity is mentioned, and she can convert them into any recycled material. Since I shared that I'm heading a primary department and I plan lessons for children with my teachers, so what we usually do is we don't follow the contents of the book. We follow our own order and we pick whatever we require to make relevance with the real life. For example, we celebrate Earth Day every year on 22nd of April. So we pick the chapters or the lessons related to environment, pollution, earth, so that when the entire world is talking about the Earth Day, saving life, saving energy, saving water, pollution, wildlife, we pick those relevant topics and we follow a theme for a month or so, and then the outcomes come out as a whole, and the child is able to see the whole thing in a big picture. So if the why is clear, what is clear? Now let's see what is the why of subject integration. Why should we do it? We should do it because it gives us real life application. As I told you, it enables the child, prepares the child to become a real problem solver in future. We all wish to have scientists, engineer, doctors in future, but the process that we are taking them through is not the right process which produces doctors, engineers, or scientists or other creative people in future, because we are more content based and we are not focusing on the process. Rather, we need to be content free, process based in everything we plan. Another outcome, according to me, is concepts retention. We need to retain the concepts of whatever we teach, because if we give them hands-on learning or experiential learning, the children retain the concept more for more time. Another objective or outcome that we achieve by using this approach is the holistic development of the child, not only the academic development, but the holistic development. Though there are many other advantages, outcomes, or benefits of this, but to list them more important, these were the four ones that I thought of. Subject integration, how? When you know that what is it and why you should do it, then the question arises in your mind that how you should be doing it. By training teachers to understand the real essence of subject integration. First of all, we need to train the teachers, and even before that, we need to train the heads to understand the real gist, the real essence of subject integration so that it's done in the right way. By coordination of teachers using online tools and platforms to make sharing easy. Like for right now, I'm addressing to all of you, but my expert areas are primarily the early years. So what we do is we have home teachers in separate classes, but those home teachers are required to plan for, one of them is Section A teacher is required to plan for math, Section B is required to plan for English, and so on. So we need to make them coordinate each other with each other, sit together, have the agreement or disagreement, and come up with ideas that benefit. So, the one person knows what the other person is doing. And in the higher classes, the math teacher should sit with the science teacher and she should be knowing, what she is doing and what the literature teacher is doing and how to integrate history with math or history with geography or science and so on by designing themes to integrate topics of different subjects in a seamless manner. The integration should be seamless. It's not supposed to be done like that, that, we make it very obvious to the children. Because if we understand it to do seamless, we make it seamless for the children as well. They do not know what they are doing exactly, but they know that they're doing an activity or an observation or a prediction, but they don't know that they are involving math and science together by using different websites and tools to access ready resources. Apart from subject integration, there are so many other websites that help you plan your lessons like EdTed, like Edpuzzle, like Nearpod, and so on and so forth. So technology is there and we all have been doing it. So why not subject integration using technology? So some of the tools for educators, I would like to give a brief overview over here. Google Drive, Slides, Docs, and Mentimeter. By the way, I just used Mentimeter for the first activity and Nearpod. You see that all these tools, they save time and in your time, you can do your part and you can share with me and I can go to the shared drive and if I'm ahead, I can give comments to my teachers and she can submit at her own times. So this is the need of the time that we utilize these tools and we get onto the paperless system and save our time and energies. Best example of subject integration. The best example and my most favorite, and I have tried for years, is the world famous storybook, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. This one single storybook focuses on science, math, language, and art subject areas. In science, we teach them concept of day and night, life cycle of butterfly, healthy and junk food, which is coming from this single storybook. The children think that they are doing the storybook, but seamlessly they are doing every area of learning, which is the teacher's dream, because the teacher wants to complete the syllabus, and this is automatically done. So you can read them on the slides. I would like to save some time here for the activity. Digital tools for subject integration. What I have brought for you today is just one slide, one website that is toytheater.com. And this one is loaded with so many resources that you keep on exploring and exploring. Maybe you people have used it already. I would have been glad to know that. But I'll try to give you a link and we'll try to give you a short demo if possible. Let's see what we have next. Yes, these are some of the pictures if I thought that we won't have time. So, here we can see that symmetry and patterns are integrated with art. This website gives you complete detail at the bottom of the activity, the instructions, and the key focus areas of every subject which are integrated in the activity. Children are having fun, they are interested, and they are learning at the same time. This is the last slide. I'll be showing it again if we get time, where you can connect with me and where we can work better in future. And if any one of you wishes to know more on this, I can help you out on this. The next resource that I made for you, I think we won't be practically able to do this here. So I just share the link. You can complete it later on as well. This Padlet link is just to share here that you can do formative assessments in your classroom. I'll be sharing the link with you. You can see that we have been doing Padlet for the past 2 days, but this Padlet, I have shared a different interface where I have asked you to answer 4 of the questions. And let me paste it first, where I've asked you all those 4 questions which I have just shared with you. So if you're able to at least make some pointers on these, my work is done. And the last question that I have added here is write an adjective to show how you feel right now. So it's very important to know at every point, as Ms. Shelina also said, that how does the child feel, and especially in primary and early years, you have to make the children to tell you or to tell themselves that how do they feel. So you can see that you can just click on the plus sign and you can keep on doing it. Meanwhile, let me give you the activity, which is one of my favorite activities. I want to show you this one. Miss Umema, is this website visible to you?
Yes.
Can you see the website, Toy Theater? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is one of the activity, and you can see I'll be sharing the link of the website also. Mirror art and math activity. So we primary teachers go crazy that what should we make the children do. So this is a mirror activity. What the instructions are, you have to select the dot size from here like this, and you can draw whatever you want. The best part is that whatever you draw here automatically goes. If you draw it on the left hand side, it automatically draws on the right hand side, which is a concept of symmetry. Isn't that we teach symmetry like this in the classroom? Can you all math teachers relate to this? So this is one of the example. There are plenty of resources available here, and children can explore and they can do art and they can get themselves refreshed. And you can see the tabs on the top: math, read, art, music, puzzle. Let me show you the interface of this website. If you go on the home page, you see that there are so many amazing tools. I haven't explored them till now because it has so much of stuff. And if you want to plan some read activities, there are the read activities also. And like Ms. Shalina said in the previous session, games are mind games are there, memory games are there, some teacher tools are also there, and some games like picture comparing two pictures, or some mind games. Or the point is that we need to treat the children of today's times. We need to upskill ourselves. We need to upgrade ourselves to the point that we match their needs, and we know what exactly and how exactly they want to learn. So this is all from my side. If there are any questions, I'm open for them now. And let me share the link with you in the chat box as well.